Picture this. A company once valued at $690 per share sold at a mere $180 in just 6 months, shedding a staggering $55 billion in market value. Such precipitous declines are not merely figures on a financial report. They represent a seismic shift in the entertainment landscape. Netflix, once hailed as the epitome of success in the digital age, now faces a reckoning unlike any other. But what exactly led to this catastrophic downfall? For decades, Netflix has been a big name in bringing new ideas and shaking things up. Starting in the late 1990s, Netflix quickly became a leader in shaping how we watch shows and movies online. They were at the forefront, making it easy for everyone to stream their favorite content anytime, changing the game from the old days of renting DVDs. Being the first to do this was a big deal, but it also meant that others would follow in their footsteps. Over the last 10 years, the world of streaming services has grown from just Netflix to more than 200 different platforms, each trying to grab a piece of the pie. This surge of competitors, along with some risky creative decisions and challenges in keeping their growth steady, has put Netflix in a tough spot. Their stock value has taken a significant hit, dropping by 70%, and they're having to say goodbye to some of their team members. A large number of subscribers are also leaving, with predictions that even more will cancel their subscriptions in the near future. In this video, we're going to dive deep into Netflix's journey to becoming a streaming giant, explore the bumps they've hit along the way, and discuss what the future might hold for them. You're watching Anonymous Crime TV. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get started on this story. Netflix began its journey in 1997, crafted by the innovative minds of Mark Randolph and Reed Hastings. Their story starts with a moment of frustration when Hastings was fined $40 by Blockbuster for a late return of a VHS tape. As someone skilled in mathematics, computer science, and business, Hastings believed there was a better, more user-friendly approach to movie rentals. During car rides with Randolph, they admired Amazon's burgeoning success and toyed with the idea of delivering items via the then-nascent internet. Initially considering VHS tapes, they found them too delicate and costly, eventually settling on the more durable and newly introduced DVDs. After a successful trial of mailing DVDs to themselves, they were convinced of their idea's viability, and thus Netflix was born. As Netflix began to expand, it approached Blockbuster in 2000, proposing a $50 million partnership. Viewing the offer as ludicrous, Blockbuster's CEO John Antioco dismissed them, underestimating the potential of the internet. Netflix's pivotal moment came in 2007 when it embraced online streaming, capitalizing on the growing availability of high-speed internet. This transition marked the beginning of a new era in digital media consumption, with Netflix leading the charge. In the late 2000s and early 2010s, the idea of streaming TV shows and movies directly to consumers' homes was revolutionary. Netflix, with its early start, became the premier platform for streaming a vast array of content from numerous studios. The value proposition was undeniable: $8 a month for Netflix's extensive library versus $50 consumer expectations, making ad-supported content and pricey cable packages seem obsolete. Following its early successes, Netflix quickly became synonymous with original content, delivering highly acclaimed shows like Orange is the New Black, House of Cards, Black Mirror, and later, Stranger Things, captivating audiences worldwide. While Netflix embraced innovation and spearheaded a disruptive movement, Blockbuster faltered, unable to adapt to changing times. Ultimately, Blockbuster's bankruptcy served as a stark contrast to Netflix's meteoric rise, propelling the latter to become one of the most profitable companies globally, reaching a peak valuation of $306 billion. However, success inevitably attracts competition, and by the late 2010s, Netflix found itself facing formidable adversaries. What began with similar startups soon escalated as megacorporations entered the fray. Companies with vast resources began launching their own streaming services, offering enticing alternatives to Netflix. Apple TV Plus focused on premium content for $5 a month, while NBC Universal's Peacock lured viewers with classic sitcoms for $15 per month. HBO Max impressed audiences with shows like Succession, further intensifying the competition. Yet, it was Disney's entry into the market with Disney Plus that posed the greatest threat. As competition intensified, Netflix faced pricing pressures, with its standard subscription now nearing $16 per month, making it one of the pricier options in the market. The implications of this heightened competition and pricing strategy would later impact Netflix's trajectory. Despite these challenges, Netflix remained the dominant player, poised for significant victories, driven in part by a monumental event unfolding in China. During the initial phases of the pandemic, Netflix experienced a significant surge in subscribers, mirroring trends observed across various streaming platforms. As people worldwide found themselves confined to their homes, Netflix became a staple of entertainment, with cultural phenomena like Tiger King dominating conversations. This surge translated into tens of millions of new subscribers throughout 2020 and into 2021, solidifying Netflix's position as the premier choice for stay-at-home entertainment. This surge in demand led to Netflix being dubbed the king of stay-at-home stocks, attracting substantial investment interest. Even halfway through 2021, Netflix continued to attract new subscribers. However, as vaccination efforts progressed and pandemic restrictions eased, consumer behavior began to shift. With newfound freedom, viewers sampled a plethora of streaming services, gaining insight into each platform's offerings. As a result, they became more discerning in their choices, opting to retain subscriptions that offered the most value. Compounding Netflix's challenges was the loss of intellectual property rights to rival platforms and a noticeable deceleration in subscriber growth. These factors signaled an impending reckoning for Netflix, signaling turbulent times ahead. In mid-April 2022, Netflix faced a substantial setback as investors reacted en masse to disappointing subscriber figures. The company disclosed a global loss of 200,000 subscribers in the previous quarter, a stark contrast to the anticipated growth of $2.5 million. This marked the first instance in a decade where Netflix experienced a net loss of subscribers in a single quarter, sending shockwaves through the industry. The revelation triggered a rapid and severe decline in Netflix's stock value, plummeting by 35% virtually overnight. $50 billion were wiped from the company overnight. Investors got scared. They wondered if Netflix had hit its peak. The big boss wrote a letter to shareholders saying they couldn't predict Netflix's future as confidently anymore. When a big shot like him expresses doubt, many people follow suit. By April 2022, Netflix had lost over 70% of its value since its peak, which made investors furious. Some even sued Netflix, saying the company misled them about its financial future. Netflix blamed its loss of subscribers on a few things, like more competition and people going back to work after the pandemic. They also pointed fingers at pulling out of Russia and people sharing passwords. But there's more to the story. People are saying Netflix's shows aren't as good as they used to be, and they're frustrated that their favorite series get canceled too soon. Another problem is Netflix keeps raising its prices. Back in 2014, it was just $9 a month, but now it's almost $16. That's a lot for many families, especially when money's tight because of inflation and higher interest rates. It's hard for people to justify paying more for shows that might not be that great and could get canceled. The boss of Netflix, Reed Hastings, once said he didn't like the idea of putting ads on Netflix. But now, Netflix is planning to offer a cheaper version with ads. This move seems to go against what Hastings said before. It could make Netflix less appealing, especially if it starts feeling like the old-fashioned TV people tried to escape from. Things are not looking good inside Netflix either. They've had to lay off some workers, which doesn't inspire confidence in the company's future. With all these challenges, Netflix is facing some tough questions about where it's headed and if it can stay on top in the ever-changing world of streaming. Netflix is having a tough time lately. They're losing subscribers, struggling to make enough money, and even had to let go of some of their workers. Plus, the value of their company is going down fast, which is not good news. Even the big bosses at Netflix think things will be hard for a while. So, what's going to happen next? Will Netflix figure things out and keep going? Or will another company become the new leader in streaming? Well, Netflix's way of doing business is not really special, so it's possible someone else could do what they do. But there might be a bigger problem here. It's kind of like when the video game industry crashed in 1983. There were just too many games out there, and people got tired of them. Now, with streaming services, there are so many choices that people might not be able to keep up. This could mean there's just too much competition for Netflix to handle. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Maybe Netflix has already had its best days. It might not be able to make more money without losing even more subscribers. Whatever happens, it's going to take time to figure it all out. And who knows, maybe in the future, we'll talk about Netflix the same way we talk about Blockbuster now. With that, we have come to an end for this video. You have been watching Anonymous Crime TV. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. I will see you in the next video.